Have you ever stopped to consider that perhaps, just perhaps, everything you were taught about praying, asking, crying out, and waiting might actually be keeping you exactly where you are right now? Yes, I know. That statement sounds almost heretical. What do you mean to stop asking? Isn't that what we've been taught since childhood? That God hears all our pleas? That persistent prayer moves heaven? But what if I told you there's a much deeper code hidden in the lines of the Bible? A code that speaks of manifestation, of frequency, of an active faith, not a passive one. Your mind might be resisting this idea right now. Perhaps you're remembering how many times you knelt, cried, called out, and yet the money didn't come. The financial miracle didn't happen. The relief you longed for always seemed delayed, or simply never arrived. And here's a thought-provoking challenge that might shake what you've believed for years. What if the problem wasn't a lack of faith? What if it wasn't the intensity of your prayer? And what if the real reason for all this is precisely the act of continuing to ask? You see, there's something no one ever told you, something that's right there in the scriptures, but for some reason, it has gone unnoticed for generations. There's a distinction between asking and creating, between supplicating and assuming, between waiting and manifesting. And that's exactly what I'm about to reveal to you now, word by word, verse by verse, until you finally understand, once and for all, what the Bible truly meant when it spoke of faith, abundance, and provision. Because by the end of this video, I'm going to share with you the most powerful revelation of all, a spiritual key that can literally unlock the financial flow you've been trying to reach for so long. But first, I want to extend a simple invitation. If you've already felt that this video is for you, if something inside you has already started to stir, then go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel now. Because here, I'm committed to delivering truths that transform, not just pretty words. And I'll tell you something right away. I've prepared special material, content, that will help you take the first steps in this new way of thinking and acting. Take a look at the link in the first pinned comment. Just click and begin this transformation. Now, take a deep breath and come with me, because what I'm about to tell you will change the way you see spiritual life, manifestation, and especially money. Perhaps you've never heard this before, or maybe you have, but never with such clarity. What do most people do when they need money? They ask. They plead. They place their hope in an undefined future, in an external favor, waiting for an invisible angel, somewhere in heaven, to pour gold coins directly into their lap. But what if I told you that the Bible never encouraged this kind of passive waiting? That God, from the very beginning, designed you as a co-creator? That Jesus himself, in various passages, spoke about the importance of behaving as someone who has already received, even before seeing any material sign? This is the game changer. This is where the true journey begins. You'll realize that the law of attraction isn't a modern invention, nor a self-help book fad. It has always been in the Word, just under different names, with other metaphors, with spiritual codes that few dared to decipher. And perhaps, just perhaps, the biggest block between you and money is your constant posture of begging instead of manifesting. That's why stay with me until the end of this video, because every part of this conversation was built to take you from where you are to a new level of understanding. I promise you, the final revelation will be the most powerful of all, the most impactful, and certainly the one that will make you look at your life and your future with new eyes. So, ready? Breathe deeply. keep your mind open, because what I'm about to tell you now might seem to go against everything you've heard until today in sermons, preachings, and group prayers. But this is the truth that liberates, that expands, that breaks the invisible cycle of scarcity. The Bible was never a manual of lamentations. It is, in its essence, a map of creation, a constant invitation to co-create with the divine. It's just that most of us have been conditioned to look to the sky, waiting, when, in reality, the movement should be to look within and start generating. When Jesus said, "Whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours," he wasn't talking about a simple request. He was talking about an internal state of a vibrational alignment, of a certainty that precedes matter. He was describing manifestation. Do you perceive the hidden power in that phrase? He didn't say, "Ask and wait." He said, "Believe you have already received." This is faith in its purest form. This is the language of creation. This is spiritual quantum physics expressed over 2,000 years ago. But why, even with this information so clear, do most people remain trapped in lack? Why do so many people spend years praying, fasting, crying, and the money doesn't come? Because the vibration they emanate is one of need. It is one of absence. It is one of desperation. And you know what's even more profound? The Bible itself warns about this. That which you fear will come upon you. Look, the energy of fear, of lack, attracts exactly what you most want to avoid. That's why, the more you pray with fear, the more you create fear, the more you cry out in desperation, the more the universe returns desperation. Now, pay close attention to this. God doesn't respond to your request. He responds to your faith. And faith isn't a scream. It's not a cry. It's not an endless plea. Faith is a vibrational state. It is a magnetic field. It is an energetic signature that tells the universe, "I am already what I ask for." Have you noticed how the great biblical miracles happened? Observe closely. Moses didn't ask the sea to part. He simply stretched out his staff. Jesus didn't beg for Lazarus to come back. He simply declared, "Lazarus, come forth." There was no hesitation, no doubt. There was command. This is the key. God placed you here as a being with spiritual authority. But instead of acting with that authority, you have been begging for blessings. And no, this isn't to blame you. Quite the opposite. This is to awaken you. Because as long as you continue to just ask, you are vibrating as someone who doesn't have. And the universe, God, the source, can only give you what corresponds to who you are, to what you vibrate. So, what to do from now on? First, stop. Stop asking with the feeling of someone who is begging. Start affirming with the certainty of someone who has already received. Start giving thanks even before seeing the money in your account. Start acting like someone who knows that they are already prosperous. And I know. Maybe right now you're thinking, but how can I do that? If the bills are coming in, if the rent is overdue, if I don't even have enough to eat properly? I understand you. And that's precisely where the real test lies. Because it's in the midst of the storm that genuine faith is born. It's in the darkness that the inner light needs to shine brightest. It's when all seems lost that you need to choose, consciously, to change your vibration. I want you to experience out right now, closing your eyes, taking a deep breath, and imagining, with all the details, what your life would be like with the money you desire. Feel it, see it, touch it mentally. Create that movie within you, because that's what will begin to shape your reality. And before I continue, let me remind you In the first pinned comment, there's a link with special content, something that will help you go even deeper into this manifestation journey. Check it out later. You won't regret it. Now, let's move on, because what comes next is even more profound. If you've already started to perceive the shift so far, know that the final revelation will open a portal within you, a portal that may have been closed for your entire life. I want you to start looking at money not as something distant, but as an energy that is already around you, a frequency, something you just need to tune into. At the end of this video, I will deliver the ultimate spiritual code to you, the key that closes the cycle of lack and opens the doors of provision. So, stay with me, because the best is yet to come. And now, I want to tell you a truth that might hurt, but that can also set you free. You don't attract what you desire. You attract what you are. This phrase, simple, almost harsh, but profoundly true, carries the essence of everything the Bible has been telling us since ancient times, but that few of us have truly managed to comprehend. The problem isn't in your desire, it's in your vibrational identity. It's in the invisible field you feed every day with thoughts of fear, with words of complaint, with attitudes of scarcity. It's as if the universe were a big spiritual mirror, reflecting back exactly what you vibrate, without filters, without exceptions. Remember that moment when you wake up already worried about bills? When you open your banking app and feel that tightness in your chest? When you pay for something and immediately think, less money in the account? Each of these micro-reactions are seeds, codes, invisible commands that you are sending out to the world around you. And guess what? All of it comes back to you, multiplied. The big shift, the point of no return, happens when you understand that you need to stop negotiating with God as if He were an emotional merchant. God is flow. He is pure abundance. He is an inexhaustible source, and He has already given you everything. The problem is that you are still acting like someone who believes they are empty. When Jesus said, "It will be done according to your faith," He wasn't just talking about isolated miracles. He was talking about a lifestyle, an internal posture, a constant frequency of certainty, of anticipated gratitude. The money you want so badly isn't far away. It's on another layer of reality, just a few degrees of vibration from where you are now. Change your frequency, and reality changes with you. But in how do you do that? Here enters one of the most forgotten and at the same time most powerful practices that the Bible taught us, the power of the declared word. Remember when God created the world? It wasn't with physical labor, it wasn't with sweat, it was with the word. Let there be light. And there was light. You also create your world with the words you use. So, from now on, make a pact with yourself. Stop saying you're out of money. Stop repeating that it's hard. Stop affirming that the crisis is crushing you. Instead, declare, God's abundance flows freely in my life. I am prosperous because it is my Creator's will. Money comes to me in unexpected and wonderful ways. Do this every day, like someone watering an invisible but real seed. And do you know why? Because faith is the substance of things hoped for, and the evidence of things not seen. Now, I want to tell you a detail that almost no one notices when reading the Gospels. Jesus always acted before the manifestation happened. He gave thanks before the miracle. He declared healing before the physical improvement. He multiplied the loaves, giving thanks for something that was not yet visible to human eyes. This is the secret that was hidden, and that is now before you. When you change your internal posture, the entire universe rearranges itself to match it. And perhaps you're asking, but what if I do all this and the money doesn't come? The answer is simple, yet profound. If you are still waiting to believe, then you still haven't understood the principle. First you believe, then you see. That is the spiritual order. There is no manifestation without alignment. There is no harvest without a change of identity. True faith is believing so much, so very much, that the external world has no other choice but to bow before your conviction. And now, to help you even more to apply all this, I've left a special piece of content that I prepared with great care in the first pinned comment. Click there later, because there are practical steps for you to start changing your vibration today. We are getting close to the last revelation, the one I promised you at the beginning. Take a deep breath, because what I'm about to tell you now could be the turning point in your financial and spiritual life. You don't need to ask, you need to assume. Assume that you are a child of God, an heir of abundance, a co-creator of your reality. As long as you act like a spiritual beggar, life will continue to treat you as such. But from the moment you take your stand, with firm faith, with the right words, with an open heart, abundance has no choice. It must reach you, because true prayer is not a request. It is an alignment. It is the fusion between what you feel, what you believe, and what you declare. And it is exactly there, in that state of unity, that the miracle happens. Now, before we get to the final revelation, I just ask you one thing. If this video has made sense to you, if something clicked for you, hit the like button here. Subscribe to the channel, because together we will continue to dive into these transforming truths. So, let's move on to the most important part of all, the one that will change your energetic field, your consciousness, and in time, your material reality. Ready? Because what I'm about to reveal to you now is the final code. The final code is simple, but it's so powerful that most people can't sustain this truth for long, because it requires surrender, courage, and a break from everything you've been conditioned to believe until today. The code is, act as if you already have. Yes, that's it. But it's everything. Act as if you already have. Think as if you already have. Speak as if you already have. Decide as if you already have. Feel as if you already have. Breathe as if you already have. Move through the world as if you have already. Receive the blessing you've been waiting for, because when you do that, you are sending a clear and unmistakable signal to the universe. You are saying, I already am. I already have. I have already lived this miracle within me. And you know what happens next. Physical reality, the material world, it has no choice. It bends. It yields. It begins to mold itself according to this new frequency you've decided to emit. That's why Jesus never said, ask and wait in fear. He said, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move. See? It's not a timid request, it's a command, a certainty, an unshakable internal decision. That's why I tell you, with all the strength in my voice, and with all the energy this video carries, stop asking like someone who doesn't have. Start acting like someone who has already received. Remember that outfit you were saving for a special day. Wear it today. Remember that thought, when I have money, I'll do such and such. Do what's possible now. Change your small habits. Exchange the language of scarcity for the language of abundance. Choose words that declare life, prosperity, fluidity, because your mind is fertile ground, and it will cause everything you plant to flourish. Everything. And if you ask me, But how do I sustain this faith when everything around me screams otherwise? I answer you. You sustain it by feeding yourself every day with content that uplifts you, with words that connect you, with truths that set you free. That's why, after this video ends, come back to the channel, watch the other content I've prepared, and remember that in the first pinned comment, there's a special gift for you, something that will help you keep this energy high every day. Now, let me tell you one last thing. The revelation that will close this cycle of consciousness we've built together so far. Abundance was never outside. It was never in the salary, nor in the job, nor in external sources. It has always been within you. You are the source. You are the channel. You are the temple where God manifests all that is good, all that is full, all that is sufficient. So, from today, don't pray like someone begging for crumbs. Pray like someone activating spiritual codes, like someone awakening their own divine inheritance. Rise up right now with this new consciousness and make the universe hear with your vibration, with your thought, with your action, that you are ready to receive, ready to live, ready to manifest, ready to be the miracle. And if this video made sense to you, if it touched your heart in any way, I ask you, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone you love, because what we've just unlocked here can transform lives. And always, remember, you are not here by chance. God brought you to this moment for a reason, and abundance has already begun to move in your direction.